Hey, welcome to the Brown Olive Podcast, another end of year special episode. This is your host, Felix, and I'm here today with our co-host, Andrew Grigis. Andrew, how are you?
Andrew Griggs is good. How are you?
Good. Do you prefer Grigis, Griggs, Grigis? What can people call you?
Oh, I mean, the best one that they've mispronounced is Gridges. But I think we're good with Gridges. That's okay.
Grigis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think, we want to be timely. We want to talk about, it's that end of year. We're all a little bit in that stress mode, a little bit of the holiday blues. I just wanted to, recap a little bit about, what's it been like, kicking this podcast, off the ground. And, a lot of this, work would not have been done without your support as well, and helping build the content and expand our reach on the website with some movie reviews. But Andrew, I mean, what's your experience been like so far with as our official fellow for the Brown Olive Podcast?
It's been really rewarding and challenging in good ways. And I think the best thing about it is, I think that we were close friends before, but I honestly think that, since we were in contact with each other from the beginning of the year, that maybe it's helped us get even closer. I think that's like the most promising thing about all of this, is that sort of how we've gotten the work chemistry together and how we've challenged each other in life. I think that that's the most important thing about this podcast, barring the podcast itself, which I think will be pretty good.
No, I agree, and I said you said it wonderfully. I think we're really outside of this podcast, we're really good friends. Like, we talk almost daily, and we rant to each other about our day to day and our challenges, that at our jobs we face too, and life. So no, I think honestly, like, this podcast has been a delight. It's been also a creative outlet for us, right? Kind of like to blow off steam a bit, and also maybe to hopefully some folks that are listening can walk away with something a little meaningful, maybe learning something different, or maybe a different perspective, maybe bringing a little art and film into your life if it's not already there. But this episode is going to be featured on a little bit of, looking back at nostalgia, looking back at the end of the year, some highlights, some, I guess, what do we want to call them? Underrated, overrated, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And one man that's not short of any opinions is right across the screen from me. So this will be really, really good. Let me kick off with a quick question. What's been your favorite episode so far?
Oh, geez.
Putting him on the spot. He wasn't prepped for this, so.
Well, I think the last one we did was pretty wild. But I don't think is that posted yet? No, I don't think that's up yet. The last one we did when Nick called midway through.
That's posted. That's posted already.
Yeah, I think that one, it's got a little bit of starburst there. I think that's a good one. Yeah.
Can you give a little teaser without giving too much away? Because that episode is a special one, and it's up on Patreon. And really, because of the content, it's NSFW. Not safe for work. Because we do push the boundaries a little bit. Still trying to edge Andrew closer into OnlyFans, but we got to start somewhere. But just give us a little glimpse.
Brings a whole new meaning to the word heads up. So it's a special episode, not just because it's NSFW, but it's the day that I received packages from Felix for Christmas. He wanted me to open them on screen. He tried to get me to indulge him by opening this in front of my parents. That would have been funny for the podcast. But we're basically talking about these gifts, and I'm playing around with them with my hands, and then our good friend Nick calls into to Felix, and we get him to jump on screen and join the wild fun, and then we kind of touch on some important cultural things, timely things that have happened recently in the year. I think that's not too much of a teaser.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I will say for me, my one of my memorable ones, I'd say is the Luigi combo. I think I've gotten some feedback from other folks as well now that it's been out for a couple days that it's touched on so many topics. It's kind of hit home for many people, and I just love the fact that we brought two different, not unique, extremely unique perspectives because we're sharing what people feel. But I think just diving into that combo and pushing that topic to, the dark side, the light side, the middle gray area, right? Where, we don't know, is it good? Is it bad? And we talk it through. And I really, really I felt that episode just flowed seamlessly. I felt that, we had a really good dialogue, and I feel like if we can have those types of conversations out more in the real world, then I think we'd learn a lot more from each other. But so that to me is one of the top episodes of the year. And of course, we have still some more episodes to drop that I'm working on, but I think that stands freshest to mind.
And for all of those people who philosophically think that maybe the internet doesn't have too much of a difference from reality, I got to tell you, Felix has definitely been doing a great job into synthesizing me into a real life infamous person. Pretty soon the feds are going to come for me. So that's another teaser, though. That's another teaser.
As a man who specializes in folklore and myths, I feel like it's only fitting that you live up to that. So if you notice in our episode drops or any of our social media, Andrew is our marquee face of the podcast.
More
and
like
plus,
Marquis
deep down
de
inside,
face.
deep down inside, he loves it. He loves it. He says no, he doesn't like the spotlight, but he relishes in it a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. So what do you what's this over under that you're thinking about? I feel like maybe what do you think? I'm curious.
So I've never done this. So this is either going to be a big hit or it's just going to be a big miss. But I'm okay with it. I think so the over under basically is just looking at things or events, headlines or things that happen, music, movies, whatever. And we either say underrated or overrated, right? Pretty self standard. I guess I'll kick it off if you want, just to give an example, and then we can spitball back and forth.
Okay.
Kamala?
Very overrated.
You don't have to go into it. You don't have to.
Okay.
And then you could ask me one in return, a different one.
Okay. Wolverine versus Deadpool.
Overrated.
Okay, good.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Under.
I think that's a fair take. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely under. I'll say under. Tom Cruise.
Good old Tommy boy. I'm gonna say underrated.
I agree. I'm there with you. What do you got?
Oh, this is a good one, man. I'm getting pushed to the corner. I'm gonna try to start swinging. I'm just windmilling at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got one for you, and I know the answer that I would give.
Go.
RFK.
Oh, this is a good one. I'm gonna say underrated.
Yeah. I mean, I know, but yeah,
right?
I agree. He's totally underrated. I mean, just yeah. There you go. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Well, just to follow in suit, your boy Donnie.
You know what? I'm gonna say, as much as I don't want to, I'm gonna say that he's been underrated this year by the public. I'll say, and I'll back it up. So 2016, Donnie was all in, right? Donnie was all in. This year, I think a lot of people were expecting, maybe like a little bit of like antics from Donnie. They were expecting like, just kind of like a sideshow deal. They weren't expecting it to like stick in. And all of the events that led up to today, I think basically have proven those people wrong. So I think those people are everyone. I mean, Republicans, Democrats, everyone was like, oh, Donnie's not coming back, but he's here.
And you can go into this a little bit.
Okay.
If you want. I'm going to ask you. The United Nations.
See, now you're doing this secretly because you want me to. I know what you want. The United Nations. Well, I'll say the United Nations is overrated, but their envoy, she's underrated. Very underrated. Yeah. Yeah. She also recently was on Piers Morgan and, said it was a wild, fun time. There you go. Yeah. That's my answer. Okay. So let's see here.
We'll do two more. We'll do two more.
You're going to hate me.
Go ahead.
Okay.
There's one that if you ask it, it's a good one. I know, like, if you touch on it, it's a good one. It'll probably get our podcast shut down, but it's a good one if you ask it.
I think you already are reading my mind.
Go for it.
Should I go for the 3 letters or should I go for the nickname?
No, you pick. I don't know if we're on the same page, but you just call it out. Don't worry.
BB.
Yeah, we're in line with that. BB. 100 times over. Overrated. Oh my God, dude.
Dude, you don't have a pager on you right now. Be careful.
I mean, that man's in a world of trouble, even in his own country. So,
yeah.
Nobody's reporting it, obviously, but yeah,
he's got that smug smile in court, though. So,
I mean, that's the look of when you sell your soul, right? So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll just go with IDF overrated as well. We'll just hit on those marks. Anyway, you're one of your last.
Yeah, I think that all falls under the tree.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. Ooh, canceled.
Game over.
Game over. There you go. Yeah, be careful here now because this is power in play here. AOC.
Ooh.
She's on TikTok every night she's speaking to the audiences and answering questions. So better be careful.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure. I'm in on the pulse of that, but I guess from my perspective, I would say that she's under this year. But, in past, like, from like, what, 2016 to 2019, 2020, she was overrated. But now I would say underrated.
I like that. I think that's fair. I'll ask another one, and maybe we can wind down unless you have one more.
Okay.
Todd Phillips. Director.
You know what?
Are you going to say, don't put baby in the corner? Is that what you're going to say?
If the ending to Joker 2 happened to Todd Phillips. Never mind. I don't want to get us even more canceled. I'll say underrated, I think. I think because he was, ridiculed for what the choices that he made in the movie. I think that he's underrated as much as I don't want to say that.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to end it there? You're good? Or you have
I'm no hypocrite. I know when to call it like I sees it, so there it is.
All right, folks. That was our first segment of Overrated, Underrated.
We'll see how much of it is next time.
Yeah, it might be the last time too. So we'll see. We'll see how we go from there. I guess I'll say this. If we can get a little nostalgic, what's the and you don't have to go too deep with it, but what would you say has been the toughest thing you faced this year? And you can stay surface level, or you can kind of go deep, whatever you want. You have carte blanche on this.
Well, you know that you asked me that question. I'm going to do something like philosophical. What do you want? This is what you do.
I just ask questions. That's
Yeah.
all.
I think that yeah, I think 2024 has been uh, uh I think it's not hyperbole. It's actually below hyperbole to say that it's been a very challenging year. Personally, professionally. Um the question was how has it been, or what was your question?
Yeah. How has it been?
Yeah, I think it's been kind of like a roller coaster. It's been there have been a lot of forced growth experiences. I can't, I'm kind of like that masochist that says that I wouldn't have it any other way because that's life, that's experience. So
Mhm.
I know that there's plenty of other people out there that probably wish they could, and I don't doubt it. But yeah, I guess despite all of the trials and tribulations, um, it's helped me, even continue. It's pushed me further. Like I always want to be pushed. I always like to move forward in a sense, and keep thinking about the same things in different views. And I think that while really, really heavy it has and can have been, I think overall it's been existentially good.
That's a very fair answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you a follow up, um,
Oh, what
and this
was
is
it?
kind of related to 2025.
Okay.
Um, I hear, and it's still pending confirmation, that we are possibly setting up a live podcast episode, no holds bar, just with a couple guests, maybe, uh, in 2025. So, you being from the great state of Ohio, I guess, is that? I think can you tease a little bit about to our audiences of what that might look like?
Yeah. I think I have some of my own ideas about how that'll look because I plan on bringing my camera. I know that that's we've talked about that, but I think that maybe one thing that would be what it's going to look like. Well, I'm going to take a Greyhound in, just like a famous 20 something who's being held in New York right now. Um, and
Please look it in.
I'm gonna wear my COVID mask, and I'm gonna go to one of those big business.
Oh God,
I
dude.
know it's gonna look like Jesus. It's gonna look. It's gonna be. There's gonna be high energy. It's gonna be jovial. There's gonna be lots of laughs, a lot of low jokes. I think you're gonna see like a sense of camaraderie that maybe you haven't seen because of the distance of screens since my time living in New York. You know, 2014 to like basically end of 2017. So we're gonna be real lively, and I think with the camera, I'm maybe having like some sort of kind of like Ulysses kind of video cast, like sped up of just like going across the city in a day. You know, that'd be kind of
Mhm.
cool to see. Just sort of like the speed up cam, and just have that as a little cut in there. That'd be good.
You mean a CapCut TikTok video? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure, exactly. Whatever they say, whatever they
Whatever
say.
the kids are doing nowadays? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I also think that you know, well, to talk to your buddies, see if anyone wants to join in with us.
Yeah. So, I think just for the audience out there, we're aiming to do that live show. It might be a complete shit show or it'll be just incredible. I think it's either extreme. But we're excited and, that we've got some guests coming up. We're trying to line them up. We're still seeking or we're securing a venue, to do it. And yeah, it'll be just madness and chaos in person. There might be some wrestling. Something might break out. I don't know. Andrew may have to kiss something.
Depends on if
you
I
know,
wear it in my pants.
and also, not to get too personal about Andrew's, personal life, but you know, uh, he he'll be coming to the city in January. and it's around the same time as his birthday as well. So
Yeah,
you'll
that's
be
true.
celebrating your birthday.
Yeah,
You're not there at the big 4-0 yet, you're
no,
just hovering,
yeah.
you know. But yeah. Well, since this will air before then, I'm throwing it out there on his behalf, and it's gonna embarrass him. But because he's a humble guy, and uh, ladies, he's single. He's single, ladies.
Not only that, but nonprofits. I'm looking for full-time jobs.
Oh yeah, let me actually do something practical. Also, he has a pretty good resume. He's really passionate about his work. He likes working with people and building community. So, and he's an advocate. He's a big advocate for rights and stuff. But
Yeah.
nobody cares about that. Let's get this man a date. Somebody, any ladies out there that's interested in an artistic, indie, weirdo, wino, you know,
The
uh,
mustache might be gone by then. I don't know. We'll see. That's just
yeah,
bets are open.
yeah. We should put a poll on that. Should you shave your stash before you get to New York or not? But yeah, just throwing that out there. Any folks, the man's been single for a few years, doing that self journey in the process. He's in a good place now. So he likes he likes book dates, bookstore dates. He likes cafe, the coffee that pokes him from the inside out.
And
Um,
I'll definitely share a cocktail if you want.
yeah, and he's not afraid to do a little dance after a couple
Oh
drinks.
God,
You
yeah.
just gotta get him you gotta get him a little tipsy though, and then he'll do his chain. But don't get him too tipsy because then he'll end up at a subway station with DiGiorno, on his lap and melted,
Legs
missing miss,
crossed.
missing the F train as it just passes by him 3-4 times.
True story. True story. That happened. Yeah.
Flashback to what,
That was 2016, wasn't it?
2016? Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was the first year. The first year friendship. Yeah.
yeah, 2016.
After I anxiously left the bar because I didn't want to be there drinking with my manager I did an Irish goodbye and then
Yes.
apparently so I went to what's the store that was across the street from
It's like I
REI?
think it was a Walgreens.
It's like a
Walgreens.
Walgreens or something. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went there. It's like I'm tipsy. I'm gonna go get a pizza for when I get to the apartment, and went down to the F train, and I don't know how much time passed, but
Dude, that was like 2.5 hours at least.
I think yeah. Then Felix is like I'm like it's like there, and it's just have a bag over here, and like looking over here, don't know what's happening. Yeah, Felix
His
found me.
DiGiorno pizza's melted in half. It's just folded floppy on his thigh. It's incredible. It's incredible. I
Yeah,
guess since we're talking about like reliving New York City, and coming back again in 2025 for a bit for your birthday. Uh, what's one of the things you want to do? Anything big you want to see again or experience or And I guess this would be useful for anybody that's going to be visiting New York City in the heart of the winter.
I think you've asked me this in a different way about a
Mhm.
different thing about New York City. So I'm going to answer it that way, but it's about visiting. I think
Okay.
that the thing about New York City that that people, I think people who haven't lived there don't realize is it's like the character value that you get from it. Like for me, the things that that I think about immediately that I want to experience again are like simple things, like sitting in a movie theater and watching the people come in to like the Angelica or Film Forum, and that air, that the heated room, and seeing the movie posters and waiting for the movie to arrive, and like looking around and seeing the highfalutin critics probably sitting in front of you. I don't know. There's something. I don't know if it's comforting, but pleasant about that. And then I think the other thing is there's something about walking on a New York City street. I don't know. There's something about it. It's alienating, and it's a unique adventure too. And I mean that. I think walking on a New York street is just an adventure, and it's in and of itself for anyone who's doing that. Not even in Times Square, just especially on like the quiet side streets, like down by Houston. No, not Houston. down by Houston. There's a where was I? I think it was like East Village. After I left REI early. I got out early because there was this day. Yeah, I left REI early because it was the day that LCD Sound System was releasing its most recent album. So this was 2017 or 2018? Oh, 2017, I guess. Or anyway, and I found out that they were doing like a little release thing outside of. Well, actually, I didn't find out. I went to this ice cream shop in East Village. Great ice cream shop, and I wish I could remember their names, but I'm sorry I can't. And lo and behold, as I get this ice cream, I look, and there's just this table out front, and it's the reps for LCD Sound System, and they're selling shirts outside of this ice cream shop. And, I bought the CD, I got the shirt, and yeah, I think it was on on a main street. It was like one of those side streets, the tenants' cars are parked or the workers' cars are parked, and just a quiet street, like Bob Dylan style, I guess, or something, right? So those are the things.
Is there any chance that you will revisit Botanica?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't promise that I won't visit it before or after the bookstores, but that's a different story.
So for those that aren't aware, Botanica was like our go-to divey bar spot where you got like $5-6, well drinks, and it was just a place, to spend time. It was just it was just a great time. I think where everyone went, just to blow off steam, and it was affordable and it was low key, and there's a nice like underground tone to it, right? Like I think now it's blown up. Now it's probably a little bit different, but it'd be interesting to see how these old guys go back to their old stomping grounds and see what it's like.
Is Houston pretty big these days or something?
You know what? I haven't even been in the area in, I want to say, like maybe a couple months now. No, Houston is always big. That's always happening. It's always thriving. There's like agencies and stuff all around there.
Stuff.
Yeah, the Soho stuff that doesn't go away. But that'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting to go back, just have a drink. I know Darwin is there. Darwin's one of the.
I remember Darwin. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the barkeeps, right? I guess
is Dan, the guy with the long hair and the goatee, like looks like a rocker, still there?
So that's the question. Those guys, I don't know. Interestingly enough,
because I basically nicknamed him Dandy because his last name started with the D, and I was like, the first time I was like, Dandy. He's like, you. And then there it is. Just started throwing ice cubes at me every time I showed up, and there it is. The good bar friend right there.
I guess kind of to just circle back a little bit now at our end of year thing. Any big predictions you're kind of thinking, feeling?
So I think I'm gonna stick with this prediction. I think that New York is going to be dealing with this big story for the foreseeable future. I don't think that we've seen the last of Luigi. There's the catchphrase or something, right? But I don't. I think that based on what I saw the other day with his court appearance and his lawyer, I think that this is going to be a trial that's kind of like, I'll say it. We're going to get canceled again. It's kind of like the OJ thing, right? I think it's like, it's going to be more about the court of public opinion than about like the court itself. And it's going to be about the people watching and wondering and rallying, I think. And I think that's going to go for a while because we predicted maybe court case is going to be like spring at soonest.
Could you add some updates or context about the recent thing with the lawyer?
Yeah, so it's been on social media, circled for the past couple days, but the lawyer, she, I guess, made a big stand, is what we can call it. In the first appearance, she implored the judge to create a fair trial environment, essentially. And she stated that there's been prejudice against her client, she says it's imperative that we make it a fair trial, and since he's been prejudiced by government officials, that makes it very difficult, and we need to address that. I don't know what the judge said because they haven't shown that on, or at least I haven't heard it, but she's basically asking for accountability for people who are voicing their opinions, who are public servants.
Right. And I think just to add to that, you know, they are like making this now fully political. There's this political issue now from their end because they're leveraging it, right? They're using it, like Mayor Adams, he's been not shy of having his own legal problems, right? And so, him doing that perp walk, making it literally looked like it was a movie, right? A scene out of a movie,
Yeah,
right? I thought it
everyone's
was
been
like Bane.
talking.
It looked
Yeah,
like a young Bane
yeah.
being walked out, right? Like that's you don't really see that, So
I,
you're
I
right.
do think you want to talk about overrated. I think that perp walk was actually an overrated mess. I do. We talked about the cops wanting to get this done quickly. They did not make a good case for themselves that day.
Yeah. So I mean, these coming months will be interesting for sure. I'm sure it's not the last time we'll be talking about Luigi. Luigi will be top of mind, I think.
And
I'm on the same page with you. I kind of feel 2025, politics is going to happen regardless, whether however we feel about it, it's still going to be happening, right? And to some degree, we can influence a little bit, right? The people on the ground. But I think, we're talking about it, and that's one way to educate people and have these conversations and dialogue. But again, that's not going to be like my main prerogative or my main barometer of, like, is my whole year dependent on this? No, that'll be a big thing, right? The politics in the background. But I think for me, I think what I'm looking for in 2025 is us just having these conversations more, getting more episodes out, getting more guests in, and out in the world. I would say I really do hope that we can really start reining in on the United States' impact in the world, or us just standing by and not doing anything. I think there's been bloodshed, so much chaos, bloodshed in 2024 that I hope something could be done about it now. We're almost a year and change in, and we need more action. We got to do something. I think we've all become a little bit desensitized, which is unfortunate, but I think, this is also a reminder that just because you're not thinking about it, it's still happening. It's still happening. Whether it's the starvation in Sudan or you're talking about the Palestinians, I think we can't be consistently thinking about it because we're humans and we'll crash if we do. But then there are folks that have to consistently think about it, right? There is no other escape. There is no other outlet for them. So I think just, in 2025, I hope it can be easier to talk about this. It could be more on the forefront. And therefore, I hope that action can come from that. But other than that, I think I feel like I'm optimistic, despite Donnie being there and doing his madness with his cronies and everybody else. I think people will come together. I'm a huge believer that, people will come together and we can do what we need to do. So I think that's my little rant for, what to expect in 2025. I know that you're working on your top movies of 2024. I'm curious, and I know it's still in process, and you're never really supposed to ask a writer what's he working on when it's in the process. But what do you think the academies have been getting it right in the last couple of years? And do you think the institution is still like the barometer of cinema, of accolades and accomplishments? Or do you think as film becomes more globalized, right, and people can see it and it's accessible, and other institutions are popping up and recognizing other films, right, or collections, like you want to talk about Criterion collection, like, highlighting these other movies that we wouldn't ever see? Do you think there's still this big value in that, in this old institution, as you're kind of writing this list, right, of your own top movies of 2024? Just wanted to throw that at you.
I think this is a troubling topic to deal with, and I think it kind of deals in a way with that conversation that I jumped into when Nikki was um, sharing a sort of melancholy take on movies and independent cinema. Um, I do think that the Academy has had importance, and I think that it isn't important. I don't think that let me rephrase that. I don't think that it's actually important to the barometer of how cinema moves now. Um,
Hmm.
I think that it might be out of touch. Um, I think that it's time for, since we're much more globalized now, for people who love cinema, love movies, for art lovers. I think it's time for us to go in a more to the smaller aspects. So, like, for instance, I'm probably going to get a Cineast magazine subscription. Cineast magazine is in New York City. That's where they're based. They're kind of like the other top tier cultural magazine for film comment, which no longer exists as a printed magazine. I mean, obviously, you have the Film Lincoln Center Foundation.
Hmm.
So, they've always been a mainstay. But I also think it's looking at smaller places like Criterion, which is very small, and there's like these boutique like DVD retail places online. So, like, I'll name a couple of them. Vinegar Syndrome, named after the syndrome for what happens to film after it's been sitting in an attic for years. Vinegar Syndrome is a place that's been restoring older movies, like generally like 70s to today movies, but it's been doing a good job. It's got like a couple films from Claire Denis on there, got some genuinely independent American cinema that I haven't heard of except for seeing on their website. Um, the other place is I forget the other place, but they released like the film, the cult favorite Santa Sangre. A nice restoration of that. They did a good restoration of Dennis Hopper's Out of the Blue. I wish I could remember them, but I think it's time to go to smaller places, boutiques, collectives, magazines, online magazines I think that's where cinema is going to thrive. I think cinema is going to thrive sort of like as this chain of groups as opposed to, the Academy. And I think the Academy, unfortunately, is just out of touch.
Yeah. And I think a lot of things that you're saying I think a lot of people agree with what you're saying. I think, yeah, I think it's on point. Yeah. But go ahead, ask away. I know you had one
Yeah.
question.
The question I had, I think, is maybe a little more hopeful question, but this is the question that I was forecasting to you before we started. This we're filming this on 24 December 2024. And I think that since, given it's the holiday season, like, maybe the question to ask ourselves is what I will ask. But, we, in a time where we've been talking about so much that's been happening in history, like, live history, us now, and the world and America and our own personal lives, people out there, I think, the holiday season can make people, yeah, certain percentages go up during the holiday season. I think we lose people during the holiday season. I think,
Mhm.
People get way more lonely. I think people are looking for that connection because you're forced to be inside as opposed to being in a park or something. So I guess the question is, what do you think what do you think holiday seasons really are about? Like, what should we focus on? What, for you, maybe it's a two-part question. Maybe what do you think that bigger question is? And then for you, like, what is that for you? How does that
Mm,
look?
yeah. Well, I mean, I could definitely answer a lot easily the what does it look like for me?
Yeah.
And for me, the holiday season uh is about graciousness, being appreciative of what we have, of us making it thus far, right? In this time of year as we're nearing the year. Um I think it's more personal than the marketed Hallmark holiday, right? I think it's and the engrossed capitalism behind it of buying things and ordering massive amounts of food. But aside from that, I think, I think for me and culturally, like I think it's always been about family. I come from a Hispanic Latino background, and ever since we were kids, like I can recall, we never had a big real tree, right? We just had like a little Walmart, Kmart, wiry tree that we used every year that was bent, or like that the little fake pine cones or little pine needles were falling off, that were plastic and probably toxic. Um, and at the bottom of our tree, like, we just have it would be just scarcely scattered gifts, right? It wasn't all about that. It was really more about just, mom cooking the hot chocolate, uh, you know, prepping the dinner for that night, family getting together. Those two are the nostalgic memories I have of the holidays, and as an adult now, and I was just joking with a buddy of mine yesterday, when we were playing soccer. Like I was like, oh, this has been like the toughest Christmas I've ever endured. I'd say, just because they've been a busy time of year with work, family, health a little bit. Just it's just that year people get sick and whatever, and it's been tough. And then I look at my daughter and I'm just like, I can't project that kind of negativity too much, even though it's real and I have to center with it. And not to say like suppress it, but center, really accept it, face it, but also know that I have another role. I have a role as a father, and as a father, it is to create a positive environment for her. And yeah, and that's why, like, literally later tonight, we're going to my sister's. I'm going to see my nephews, and we're going to have like a nice gathering, low key food, some gifts that I probably have to run out and gift wrap right in the real last minute. But I think, the holiday season is really about family, being close to loved ones, friends, staying in touch, reconnecting. I think at the meat of things, that's what the holiday season is for me. And it's also a celebration, I think. It's just a celebration of we made it to the end of the year.
Do you have how have you decorated? Have you done the white thing?
So, no, this is great. So, believe it or not, we have a very, very little tree. It's literally those desk-sized trees, the trees that you
No,
put on
that's
your desk.
great. Yeah, yeah. I got
So I
you.
have that, and it's out of reach of my daughter. Not that my daughter would like grab and pull it, but we're tight on space because we'd rather have her stuff out than have like a big tree and
Yeah.
and then there for decoration. Uh,
I think for me, the holidays are a time that people take for granted the real things that you touched on in a big way. I think it's about connection, right? I
mm,
think uh, you know, I think during these times, I think we need people. I think we're naturally hungry people for connection, for friendship, whatever. And I think that that's personally the important thing when it comes to the season. I
mm,
mean, for me personally, I enjoy helping my friends out or getting gifts. Like I've gotten gifts for you, and I've gotten gifts for your daughter, and I sent a gift to my friend Paul, and I'm getting sending a gift to his daughters. These things, I think that these are the important things. It's not necessarily about the gift itself, but it's about, you know, giving people a moment to take a deep breath and maybe not rush and feel, even if it's just like 10 seconds of comfort. I think that's the important thing to me, and and helping. Yeah, I just want my friends and family to really stop and not worry about all of the little things in life, even if they have to come back to it. Just take a day, take 2 days. You know, that's the
Mhm.
important thing.
What I flashed on screen for those that are just listening, maybe, was a Criterion collection of Wong Kar-wai's work. Really excited, really special, crafted, really artistically designed as well, with books and special photos, limited editions, which was a nice gift from our co-host and friend Andrew.
Oh,
So
you know what? I'm going to show them the book that you got me. How about that, real quick?
yeah, yeah, sure, go ahead, go
Okay,
ahead.
hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. So, along with our special episode, he, I'm going to do this so that we can make sure to air this without it being, just a
Oh
Patreon. Okay.
God.
So first of all, he got me this, and I guess what I would ask is, could you just tell us why you picked this book for me? I mean, tell them, let them know why you picked a hero of our time, Mikhail Lermontov.
So that's actually one of my favorite books. I read, I think, maybe in my early 20s. I just stumbled on it coincidentally, I think, and I was in my Russian phase of reading Russian lit, as any angry post-teen, early adult, still trying to figure out themselves or just, trying to understand the world around them. Um, I think that book, A Hero of Our Time, to me, is really the introduction. And again, I'm not a literary theorist, you know, but I would say to me, I think it's the real depiction of the anti-hero in our society. Um, a turn and a shift in the literary context of what your hero is supposed to be and look like. And to me, that really appealed to me because, I found that you didn't need to have all these superhero Prince Charming characteristics to thrive, to love, to create, to seek the world and make a difference. You didn't need those things. Um, and I think as you read it and explore this book and this character and the things that he does, you'll I think you'll appreciate um the depths and the psychology of what this character is doing and how he faces problems and conflicts and overcomes them. And I think that there's this truth to it where it's okay not to be good every single second of your life. You're human. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna err, but it's also about how you see it through in the end. And so I think without giving too much or divulging about the actual story, I think there's elements of love and romance and chaos and death and fighting and challenging and honor, all those words that, we forget what they really mean or where they began. And it gives you a little taste of that. And I think for you as a creative and the creator, and someone that tries to be true to themselves, no matter how much the world pushes back, it's a gentle reminder that you know, you can be the anti-hero and still walk away doing good things. The anti-hero isn't a bad thing.
I was the anti-hero as you were describing that. The dog was upstairs, was yelling at the. I don't know if it's Amazon or not, but they were. But I think that's really interesting. You're essentially saying that I'm this. I mean, aside from the hairline, you're
Yeah,
saying that I'm this person,
that's
right?
you like 15 years down the
Yeah.
road, man. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then the next gift that he got, I have to be careful, but it's and watch how I'm holding it. By the way,
Good.
do you see how I'm
Good.
holding it?
Yeah, we're gonna get.
There you go.
It's a little holder for his like treats, his candy treat, or his little mint. or if he wants to grow a little flower and plant the seeds, and he can have it on his desk. You know,
Oh God.
what
Yeah.
was the note that wrote on it? What was the note?
Oh
Do
God.
you remember what it said?
It's somewhere over there. I don't remember. Oh God.
I think it was like something, and I'm just recalling briefly, but it's like in moments of doubt,
Oh
you
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah. Actually,
and
no, I don't have
yeah,
that book with me right now. Yeah,
yeah,
in moments of doubt, let these be comforting gifts for you, friend, or something like that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
let these be a reminder that you have people here, so, something like that. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's let's do a big thank you. I'll kick it off with one, a big thank you to you as well as the co-host and friend. This has been awesome. I love every aspect of this journey, the fact that we can create, but also a big thank you to our listeners, our supporters, our families and friends that have, probably been annoyed by the texts and spam, but have supported us regardless and nonetheless. So really grateful for you all. And also grateful for some of those new listeners that just stumbled on. They're like, who are these two weirdos? What are they doing? Um, just thankful for your support throughout the year. Um, and I encourage you to, leave a comment, leave a feedback, give us some feedback. And we really want to build a community around this so we can have a space where we can share ideas, talk things through, and engage with you. So, you could follow us on YouTube, leave a message on Instagram. Some of our episodes will be on Patreon. But yeah, we're just looking to build a community and really get your feedback and thoughts and just make this even bigger and better every year. I'll turn it to you, Andrew.
Just I want to thank I do want to thank my family. I appreciate you know their efforts in a lot of things, and I definitely want to thank my friends. Felix, you definitely have pushed, and I appreciate it. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I want to thank your family. The little you is just as crazy as you are, and wonderful and cute and all of that. And I appreciate your partner saying how much she hates me for hanging out with you and giving you joy. Taking time away from her.
That in passing as a joke.
But no, I genuinely, I'm on board, and I appreciate all of this. I'm excited. I'm excited for people to see these things, and keep your eyes out next year for Andrew Mangione.
Oh God, this episode is never going to see the daylight. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate your support. Follow us, subscribe for more crazy content and more Andrew. Everyone,
Gridges, Andrew Gridges.
Andrew Bridges. Have a great happy holiday.
Adios.